if you met someone with your psychology, with your habits, your thought processes, your life choices, would you bet on them? Would you go, I'd bet the house this person is going to succeed, that whatever they set their mind to, they're going to get done? Would you make that bet? Would you place it on them? Or maybe you'd make a smaller bet. Oh, I'd put a bit of money on them that they'll succeed, but it's not a done deal. Or would you not risk it? Because, well, that's too much of a risk. There's too much uncertainty in that person that they're actually going to make it in life. These are the questions we need to ask. These are the questions that you need to ask about your own psychology, your own thoughts, your own life choices. Because if you wouldn't bet on a person who had those, why would you continue to make those choices yourself? Why would you continue to go, yeah, I'm making good life choices? Because clearly that isn't the case. Clearly, if you wouldn't back someone else to succeed like that, then the choices you are making in your life, the habits that you're instilling, the psychology that you've built yourself on, isn't a winning one. So I don't know about you, but I'd back myself to the ends of the earth. If I'm in the race, if I'm in the game, I'm all in. I would put the house on myself to succeed. Because I know who I am in here. I know who I am inside. I know what my habits are. I know what I'm capable of. I know what my record shows. I know who I am. And I would always, always bet on me. But if you wouldn't, what does that say? What does that say about your choices in life? What does that say about the decisions that you're making? If you aren't willing to bet the house on it, well, maybe we need to start having some questions about this. Maybe we need to start having some questions about the choices that you are making. Because clearly, they aren't the best possible options. Clearly, you could make better options, better choices, better decisions. Because, well, you need to be able to make better decisions. You need to make better choices so that you are not only someone that you yourself would back, but that others would back, that others would bet on, that others would go, yeah, whatever it is, he has it. Whatever it is, I believe in him. Because this is the place we need to get to. This is the place we need to get to with all of this kind of stuff. That, well, I'd back you to the ends of the earth. Because I'd back myself. You'd better fucking believe I'd back myself. But so infrequently do we actually check in. Do we actually take time to examine ourselves and our choices, our thoughts, our habits? So often people are like, well, that's just who I am. Well, no. That's a choice. That's a definitive decision. It might be an ingrained decision, it might be an ingrained habit, but it's still a fucking decision. One that you could change at any moment. One that you could make a different choice about at any stage of life. You just have to be willing to get out there and make that change. Willing to get out and make that hard decision. That's all. And most people aren't willing to do that. Most people aren't willing to make that hard decision. Because, well, shit, it is hard. It is a difficult choice. It isn't easy to continue down a path of uncertainty, to make a different choice in life. But it's one that's required. It's ones that's needed. I saw a great post the other day, and it said, why do we get so upset about when someone fucks up our order, our coffee, or cuts us off in traffic, or, cancels an appointment, or makes us late, or whatever the fuck it might be? Why do we get upset about that? And yet we just let the big things in our life pass us by. We let the big choices in our life be what they are. They come as they may. That we're continuing to go down the path of a life that we don't want to live. We're continuing down the road of being a man that we aren't proud of. Continuing down a path where the man in the mirror is a sad sack of shit. Where we can't play with our children because we're physically incapable of it. Where we're not in our optimal health and we know that disease and injuries and, debilitation is in the future for us. We don't get upset about those things. No, we get upset about the little things. The little things that mean fuck all. The little things that, nobody really cares about. Why do we get upset about those things instead of the big things? Because, it's hard to admit. It is hard to acknowledge that, we fucked up. That we made mistakes. That the path we are on is a bad fucking path. But you need to recognize that you're on the wrong path. You need to recognize that you're heading the wrong direction. Don't compound a mistake by making it worse. It's like the concept of getting on the wrong train and going, I'm here now, I'm just going to continue on this. I'm going to ride this out, even though every minute you spend on that train takes you further and further away from your actual destination. Does that make any sense at all? No. It's like, I guess I'm here now. I'll just accept this and see what happens. No. At the first available option, you would get off and get on a different train to get you back to where you were supposed to be. Because, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you instantly adjust course to be on the path that you were meant to? But for some reason, we have this notion that we can't change. You can change your life at any moment. At any point, you can make a decision and be like, I ain't fucking happy with where I am, so I'm going to do something different. At any moment in your life, you can do that. You don't have to be the person that you've been for your whole life. You don't have to continue down this path. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. None of this is ever easy, but it's damn fucking simple. It really is very simple. You make a decision. You decide who you want to be. And then you just keep deciding who you want to be. Over and over and over again. We've spoken about it many times. It isn't the big decisions. It's making the same decision over and over and over again. It's winning the daily little battles over and over and over again. It's stacking enough daily wins on top of each other until you don't recognize the man in the mirror. So if you looked at someone else with the same psychology, the same habits and rituals and decision making as you, and you wouldn't bet everything you have on them to succeed, well then, my friend, this is your moment to change. This is your moment to make a different decision. This is your moment to decide what, truly matters to you. and start making those decisions to be better. Roughly a year ago, I had that. Roughly a year ago, I was you. And I was like, I am not fucking happy with the man in the mirror. I am not happy with who I am being. I am not happy with the version of myself that is being presented at the moment. I want to do better. I want to be better. I want to live a better life. And so I made a really hard and harsh decision. And then I kept making it. And I kept making it. And I kept making it. Every single day since then. And don't get me wrong, by no stretch of the imagination was that easy. There were many days where I felt like quitting. I felt like giving up. And even down the stretch, even as we've gotten further into it, there are still days where I feel like quitting and giving up. Because it isn't easy. It isn't fun all the time. It isn't something that I enjoy doing every single day. But you know what I do enjoy? The results. What I do enjoy is being this man, being this version of me. And the moments where I hate it, the moments when I truly get upset with myself and frustrated, aren't the days where I feel like quitting. It's the days where I give in to old habits. The days where that old version of me sneaks in a little bit. I can see him starting to wrap his tentacles around me, to pull me back down, to take me back to the man I was. Those are the moments where I'm like, fuck, no. I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be this guy anymore. And I have to stop that. I have to stop that insidious spread. I have to stop that insidious thought process that is going to drag me back down to being a man that I hated being. And it isn't easy. It isn't a straightforward process either. We spoke about this the other day. This isn't a linear process. This isn't a straight fucking line. This isn't just, oh, look, I've decided that I'm going to be the greatest version of myself. Boom. Every day I just continue tracking perfectly. No, it's ups and downs. And some days you truly win and some days are a fucking grind. And you're left at the end going, what the fuck was that? But you pick yourself back up again and you keep moving forward. You keep doing the work. It takes effort, it takes time, it takes commitment, and above all else, it takes consistency. But you want to build the psychology, the habits, the thought process, the general fortitude and discipline of a man that you'd be proud of, that you'd bet the house on, that you'd bet everything you own on, that you'd be willing to convince others to bet on. Because let's be realistic here. Let's be honest here. If you have a wife, if you have kids, you by default have others who've bet on you. You have others in your life who've gone, this is the guy to back. This is the one who's going to bring it all in. He's going to win it all for us. This is the guy. And you need to honor that. I spoke about stress being a privilege. That stress of them backing you, that stress of you being the one, that stress is a fucking privilege of the highest magnitude. I want that to settle in for a moment. I want you to take that in and realize how high a privilege it is that they've gone, yeah, I believe in this man so much that I'm willing to bet my life on it. I'm willing to back my life for this man. And your kids didn't get a fucking choice with that. But that's still the highest of all honors, the highest of all privileges, that they would back you. You need to act like that. I sent this post the other day that said, 12 years ago, I chose a man and backed him based on his potential. And I have never been proven more right in my entire life. And that right there, if that doesn't get you up, if that doesn't get you going, if that doesn't get you motivated, I don't know if we're speaking the same language here. Because for my wife, for my daughter, and my son, I would risk it all. I would do anything. I would do whatever it takes. And as always, I would back myself to the ends of the earth. That I know that if I'm in the arena, if I'm in there battling, I know I can get it done. I know I can succeed. I know I can achieve. I know I can do the impossible. It's not going to be easy, but I know I can. I know who I am inside. I know in my hearts of hearts. I know what my habits look like. I know what my psychology looks like. I know what my thoughts look like. And I'm building them every single day. Stronger, tougher, deeper. I'm ingraining them harder so that I know exactly who I am at all times. I'm building it to be the winner. That I will succeed, unquestionably. And I want to build that track record on top of it. Not just because I know it in here, but because my history shows it. That I just have evidence that if you back me, you will win. End of story. And that is who I'm trying to become. That's who I'm trying to build every single day. That is what I'm working towards. And even at my lowest ebbs, I am working towards building the habits, the grit, the determination, the thoughts, and the psychology. That means I will always fucking win. No matter what. And as I said at the start, if you aren't willing to bet everything you have on someone who is the same habits and psychology and thought processes as you, well, you need to take some time to reevaluate. You need to take some time to actually think this through and decide what you're going to do with that. Who you're going to be with that. Because, well, that's basically you saying that who I am as a man is an unacceptable level. Who I am right now isn't good enough. So change it. As I said, you can change at any fucking moment. At the drop of a hat, with one decision, you can change it. You just have to decide to. So here's your moment to decide to. Join Chasing Greatness. Shoot me a message. Let's begin that process and see who you can become on the other side. As always, if you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio. Grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if this spoke to you, if you know someone else who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, hit the subscribe button, because it lets me know, lets you know, lets the universe know that you're a man who's serious about making a change, about doing something for your better, to step up and become the man you know you should be. So, like everything in Chasing Greatness Daily, I'm here every single day, rain, hail, or shine, no matter what. It's been over a year, and we're now starting year 2. So I don't want you to miss a single one of these. So hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow.